Tim here, taking a little break from my Lost Classics series. I know some of you are thinking, taking a break, you've done one fucking episode. No, I've actually done two. I've just only released one. There's another one in the can, should be coming out sometime this week. But I want to take a little break from that because I want to do an episode of unboxing. Because last Friday was a very special day. There was a new release, a new box set that came out, and unfortunately I didn't get it last Friday. I had to wait until today, thanks Amazon. But it was a new release from Def Leppard. And of course this is another one in a long line of box sets they seem to be putting out. The first one that came out in 2018, and it was CD or vinyl collection volume 1, depending on which one you got. I chose the CD because I already had all the vinyls for this. This has everything from their first record all the way through Hysteria and a bunch of other B-sides and unreleased stuff. Pretty cool. Then last year they put out Volume 2, which I bought on vinyl because I don't have any of these on vinyl. This is Vinyl Collection Volume 2, and this is everything from Adrenalize through 1999 Euphoria. Excellent set, you know, comes with a book and everything. So the funny thing is this new set that just came out, I swore up and down I was not going to buy it because I already have Def Leppard's first two albums. I have them on CD, I have them on digital, I have them on vinyl, and I have them on that CD collection right there. So when they said they were putting out a early years box set, I said I'm not buying that because I've already bought your first two records so many times over the years that I just don't want to buy another set. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, I did break down and buy the set, and like I said, I just got it from Amazon today. So this would be Def Leppard, the early years, 79 through 81. So what this is, this has their first two albums, On Through the Night from 1980 and 1981's High and Dry, fully remastered, allegedly, released with three other CDs, various live stuff, I think some concerts from like the Reading Festival in 1980, some BBC recordings, as well as some other B-sides and remixes. Really cool stuff. And, you know, even though my girlfriend, you know, laughed at me, I couldn't stop myself from buying this. I do like to collect. So I thought this would be pretty cool. Plus, I've always really wanted to hear a full remastering of those first two albums. When I bought this from Amazon, I got the MP3s as well, and I did listen to the MP3s. And so far, the High and Dry definitely sounds remastered. You can definitely hear a difference in the sound there. On Through the Night, I couldn't really tell the difference quite as much, but all the live stuff and everything else that's on here really makes this worthwhile. And I've not even looked to see what else is in this box. So let's do it together. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. I got a knife here, so I don't take a half hour to open this thing like I've done before. All right, so let's rip the Band-Aid off this bitch. All right. So first things first, I want to say I really, really like the case. You know, when I saw it online, it looked like it was going to be maybe CD size, you know, kind of like the aforementioned Volume 1 here, you know, because this has a bunch of CDs and a book and everything inside. So I really thought the early years set would be the same size as that box set, the CD collection Volume 1. It is not. It's about the size of a 10-inch record. And it's kind of cool. It's got like an indentation here, like it's an old record or whatever. It's kind of neat. So let's open it up and see what we have. So I'm going to pull out the first sleeve in here. And of course, you know, here's a book. I think it's a book. I'm not sure what's inside. But it's got the original Def Leppard logo on the front. And on the back it says 1979 was a challenging year. So let's open it up and see what we have. This just looks like a book. You know, with some random photographs and other things inside. Lots of pictures. I always think this kind of stuff's cool. You know, lots of pictures. I'm sure, you know, stories of how, you know, of how the album came to be and everything else. So let's just kind of flip through here a little bit. Then it even goes into High and Dry. There's the diver from the High and Dry cover. All right, let's keep scrolling here, or turning the pages, I should say. Again, just lots of pictures from 1979 through 1981, which were very much the formative years of Def Leppard. You know, so let's see. I can't even see any of this, so this is kind of weird for me. I'm showing, you know, all of you, but I haven't looked at this at all myself. Although I do see Some of the bonus tracks included on the CDs 3, 4, and 5 also include the original Def Leppard EP, which was 3 or 4 tracks. It had Ride Into the Sun, which was later redone on the Retroactive album, as well as the original version of Get Your Rocks Off and Overture that eventually, in a different version, appeared on their first record, On Through the Night. So again, lots of stuff here. I'll look at this myself later. This will be fun. All right. So yeah, again, and I'm sure some essays or something or other, in regards to the making of those first 2 records and everything that went on for those formative years. Touring with AC/DC, touring with Sammy Hagar, and all those things that really led to them being global superstars soon after the recordings of these 2 records. So that's the book again. Actually, it says 1979 was a life-changing year, not challenging year. I'm sure it was challenging too. All right. So let's take a look at what's in this other sleeve. And I'm assuming this feels more like a folder as opposed to a book. So I'm assuming this is where the CDs are. So again, here we have the original Def Leppard logo from their first record. And let's open this bad boy up. So, fancy. This is very fancy. So you open it up, and the first thing you have here is a CD sleeve. Let me see if I can pull it out there. All right, and we have Def Leppard's first album, On Through the Night. This was originally released in 1979 in Europe. It came out in America in 1980 after they were signed to Mercury or Polygram or whoever it was. The record itself was produced by Tom Allom, who at that time was very famous for producing Judas Priest. He produced most of the Judas Priest output from the late 70s all the way through until 1988. So Tom Allom, Colonel Tom Allom, produced Def Leppard's first record. Again, this is called On Through the Night. A lot of you might not know this record. If you're a casual Def Leppard fan and you only know the hits or you only know Pyromania and Hysteria, you may not know this record. It's very different. It has a very different sound. It's a little bit heavier. It fits more in with Judas Priest and some of the other new wave or British heavy metal bands that were coming out at the time. Some great tracks on here, including the first single, which was Hello America. Rock Brigade is another great song. Wasted, Rocks Off, which I mentioned before. And then there's a very long song called Overture at the end, which is very progressive for a Def Leppard song. But again, it was a very, very different band when they made this first record. You can definitely hear how young they are, how raw they are, and this is just a fantastic, fantastic record. Don't sleep on this. If you heard it, you probably wouldn't recognize it without knowing who it was from the cover of the album. But I think if you give this a good listen, you won't be disappointed. But again, Def Leppard, On Through the Night. So we'll put that back in its proper sleeve, like so. And then if we fold out, let's see, the next thing we have up top here is their second record, High and Dry. So this record is the first album of 3 that was produced by Robert John Mutt Lange. And this album was the first introduction to what became their signature sound. Now, that's not to say that this album sounds like Pyromania or like Hysteria. Obviously, those elements are there, but for all of you that think Def Leppard is strictly a pop rock band, you'd be very surprised to hear this record. This is as much hard rock as anything else was at the time. Def Leppard on this record, I mean, this is the first album is very hard rock, but this album almost sounds more like AC/DC, more so than the Pyromania and the Hysteria stuff that came later. Again, starting right off the top with Let It Go, and then moving into Another Hit and Run, Saturday Night High and Dry, Bringing on the Heartbreak. Then you've got some classics on the other side. You Got Me Running, Lady Strange. Ironically, a song called On Through the Night that's on this record that's not actually on the record of that same name. But again, this is a very, very heavy record. It's the last record, the second and final record to feature the original 5 guys that were on Through the Night, as Pete Willis would soon be fired from the band during the making of Pyromania. And Steve Clark obviously passed away in 1991. So this is the second and final album featuring the original two guitar attack of Pete Willis and Steve Clark. An amazing record, again, very, very heavy. Definitely much, much better production, maybe than On Through the Night, but also very different. But very different than On Through the Night. much heavier than Pyromania and Hysteria, but again, introducing that signature sound that would make them global superstars just a couple of years later. So again, and this also features Bringing on the Heartbreak, which was the first quote-unquote hit that they ever really had. So check this out, High and Dry. Whether you check it out as part of this box set or just check it out on its own, you won't be disappointed. Fantastic album. And then the next thing we see in here, we've got our bonus CDs. Here, I can just, ooh, look at that. That is fancy. All right. So, you know, the next thing we have in here are our bonus CDs. So let's see if I can get this out without destroying anything. All right. Let's see. This is Def Leppard from the New Theater in Oxford in 1980. So this is Def Leppard on what had to be one of their first tours, playing songs from not only their first album, but some other songs that really didn't see any sort of wide release until a lot of these box sets started being released. Like Good Morning Freedom, let's see, Medicine Man, there's another one on here too. I don't know where it is right now, but I know there's another song that I'm missing, you know, that wasn't on their first record, but Glad I'm Alive, I think is another one. But again, you know, you get to hear Def Leppard in their formative years before they really found their signature sound. So again, Def Leppard from 1980 on their first tour, that's really cool. Let's see, next over here we have, I'm not sure if I'm doing these in order, it doesn't really matter. This CD right here is called Too Many Jitterbugs. And what this is, again, this features the 3 songs from their original EP, also several different mixes and early versions of songs like Wasted, early versions of Hello America and Rock Brigade, the aforementioned Glad I'm Alive and Good Morning Freedom, and then also single versions, the single edits of several songs from the High and Dry record, like Let It Go, Bringing on the Heartbreak, etc., as well as the after Pyromania took off in 1983, the record label went back and re-released High and Dry and added 2 extra songs. One was a remix of Bringing on the Heartbreak, which also became a hit, as well as a B-side called Me and My Wine. Sorry, I just drew a blank. Great tracks. Not a big fan of the remix of Bringing on the Heartbreak. They added keyboards, which kind of took away the edge, kind of took the edge away from the song. But Me and My Wine, great song. Go to YouTube, check out the video for Me and My Wine. It's pretty funny. So check that out. So anyway, this is Too Many Jitterbugs, one of the bonus CDs in this box set. And last but not least, this is Def Leppard, and this CD is called Def Leppard Raw. So on this, it looks like there are some different things. First would be a BBC session, where they did Glad I'm Alive and Wasted and Answer to the Master, all stuff from the first record. They were also on a show called the Friday Rock Show session, broadcast in '79. Again, playing some of the same tunes, Wasted, Rock Brigade, Good Morning Freedom. And then live at the Reading Festival, and that would have been in August of 1980. And again, it looks like there's 5 tracks from that, including some of the songs I mentioned before, Get Your Rocks Off, When the Walls Come Tumbling Down, Overture. So again, seeing them in their formative years before they really took off, you know, which at this point they were, whether they liked it or not, part of the new wave of British heavy metal, you know, along with Iron Maiden, you know, Priest and some of the other bands that were really taking off at the time. So again, you know, get to hear them in their early stages, you know, live. I have listened to some of the MP3s that I got from Amazon when I bought this. They sound amazing. It's not like a lot of these releases where they'll find some live recording from yesteryear and it sounds like shit. These actually sound amazing. So I don't know if they tinkered with them in the studios, but whatever they did, they sound really good. And it's a really good picture of where Def Leppard was around 1980 when they were transitioning from the sound of their first record into High and Dry, into that signature sound. So check that out. So I guess that pretty much does it for this unboxing. I hope you found that as riveting as I did. Probably not. So I'm going to close this up. Again, there's the Def Leppard logo. And I'm gonna, you know, take some time for myself and take a look at this book that I just showed you. So again, I just wanted to kind of divert from my Lost Classic series to unbox that, because when I unboxed the vinyl collection last summer, it seemed to do really well. So hopefully this video will do just as well. So again, if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel. My Lost Classic series will continue. I think I'm going to be posting one in regards to Motley Crue sometime, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. We're all kind of quarantined right now with this coronavirus thing. So, when I'm not working, I've got nothing else to do but to make dumb videos for 15 or 16 of you to watch. So, thank you. Again, if you like what you hear, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends, share it on Facebook or social media, and I'll see you next time. Peace.